refund just the tip. Wait. Well.
Hilarious.
Bro,
Okay.
you know what I hate? Paper
What do you hate?
straws.
Yes.
We're doing this again? We're doing the
doing
paper
this
straws
again.
that aren't waxed enough?
Every drink that you've had
Ow.
a paper straw with has been a drink on a timer.
Yeah. You never want to drink a milkshake too first. It's just not
No.
good.
I mean,
Or a slush. You get brain freeze if you drink a slush too.
I
If
bring
they
a
give
pack
you-
of plastic straws with me wherever I go, just to fuck the environment whenever I go to a shop that cares about the environment.
I
mean,
literally
like, at the
feed
point where they're
plastic
giving
straws
you-
to seagulls.
Good, fuck those things. They keep stealing my fucking pastries.
point where they're giving you a fucking paper straw to drink a milkshake with or a slush with, just open the lid and drink it. Because that's fucking pointless. That's stupid.
Oh, you don't like trying to force milkshake for a paper straw for 10 minutes only for it to fold in half?
I barely want to do it with a plastic straw.
You need a metal straw, that's what they're for.
I know, but
yeah, but then you
never
get the metal
one.
taste. You get the metal taste if you do.
No, you don't. And if you fucking start licking the end of the straw like some sort of moron, then you might taste a bit of iron.
You know, Skeezo really do be a straw licker, though.
Don't judge me for my life choices.
Harry, shut up!
Oh.
What?
Who's
George,
Harry?
I
Oh,
can
God.
hear him!
George,
I can
okay.
hear him!
George, I get it. I know you've hated him ever since he went to America, but you need to stop with the Harry hate.
Wait, are you talking about the prince?
Yeah, Prince Harry's just
No.
outside. And like,
You're
oi,
making
George!
noise.
Oi! George, fuck you!
Barking at the front window.
George, have you heard me? Dad's a git.
Should we all be recording individually just to make sure we don't have another situation?
No.
You know, that might not be a terrible idea, actually.
There won't be another
But then we'd
situation
all
like
have
that,
to
it's
set
fine.
it all up. It's just, yeah.
I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure what happened there is it accidentally switched to my other mic, so it shouldn't do that again.
Understandable.
Ah, very good.
Right.
That's a minimum record backup audio in Audacity.
Don't worry, I'm doing it.
Understandable.
Oh my god.
Yes, it's much easier to sync audio than re-fucking record it.
Yes, it is much easier than dubbing myself.
I prefer to watch Abandonshare. I don't know what you're talking about.
I'll have you know the Abandonshare dub is actually very high quality and better than the subs. We got Steve Bloom on there.
Funimation always does great work.
True. Alright. Let me see
Right.
if I can't set this shit up. Which video was it you wanted up first, Sleeper? Not the...
The one that's like the bunch of letters. That's just the acronym for the game.
Skeezo, you need to put yourself on push to talk or something, please.
I will do so.
Listen, we had enough of that in the first episode of the podcast. I don't want to go through and edit that shit out again.
Oh.
Like,
Oh,
if
I
we ever
remember
want
that.
to get paid, we need to start implementing some standards.
Huh.
That's really hard to do, I'm sorry.
We're not getting paid, I'm sorry.
Nah.
We're
We
never
don't have the
getting-
Hold
quality
out
for
hope,
that.
damn it.
I'm not
No,
going to hold
no.
out hope, I'm not stupid, alright?
Also, I'm not going to hold out hope because then I will be disappointed when it does not happen. That's foolish.
But for now,
This way, if it
For
does
the
happen,
foolish.
that way if it does happen, we're fucking thrilled.
Yeah,
focus
exactly.
for the foolish should be just the motto. For
See,
this
the smart
podcast.
people
I
give up
agree.
hope. The smart people give up hope.
Can we add that to the tagline?
Please.
Abandon share.
For the love
Hope is
of
for the
God.
foolish.
So hello everyone and welcome to the Abandonshare
Abandonshare
podcast.
Share
podcast.
podcast.
Share podcast.
Horribly out of sync. Beautiful, stunning. Exactly what we need.
As it should be.
Look,
Refreshing.
we're not professionals, like, and
But the
everyone
le-
should know
the-
this by now.
The
Wait, are
less
we?
we try, the better the content will be.
Do we get paid?
No,
No,
I said we're
fuck
not
no.
professionals
Oh, I thought we
We
were.
are
But we don't get
professional.
paid yet.
yet.
If we got paid, maybe I could get one of you fucking assholes to edit as well. Fuck you.
Look,
Look,
wanna pay me to edit? I'll fucking do it.
Why don't you all pay me? Fuck you.
I wasn't paying anyone.
There is no
No one's
Abandonshare
paying anyone.
podcast
We're
without
gonna
me.
stay poor forever.
I thought this was a passion project.
It is a passion project.
passion
because
project
there's
right
only-
up to the point where we start getting paid.
Listen,
There's
I'm
only
very
so much
passionate about
passion.
money.
There's only so much passion you can put into editing before it gets annoying.
Look, just because it's a
I agree,
passion
Ted.
project doesn't mean you aren't passionate about getting paid. You can have
Yeah.
both.
Yeah.
I'm Mr. Krabs, and I
Anyway.
like money.
Anyway, old video games.
Yeah, that's
Old
what we
videos.
do.
So,
Old video
we are
games.
That
supposed to be
people haven't
sharing.
heard of.
Fewer video
Yes.
games.
We
Have
are
you got
sup-
branding?
So who's
supposed
going
to
first
share
this
the
time?
abandoned.
As I remember, it's
Sleeper.
not me.
I'm going first.
Right. Video games. Sleeper's video game.
Okay. Are we ready?
And bidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabidabid
My game is Advanced Dungeons and Dragons Iron and Blood Warriors of Ravenloft for the PS1. This is a fighting game. I don't know who came up with the idea that AD&D really needed a fighting game as opposed to any other genre, but what was it? Take-Two and someone else did. So now this exists. This game is an abomination.
I can already tell, don't worry.
I wanted to keep the train going from March of the Penguins last time with, we're just gonna do awful things now.
Why do this to yourself?
Shut up.
For the
It's funny.
content!
I do it for the content, I do it because I care. So, we've got a whole cast of, I don't know if they're lore relevant to anything, but they're just like elf, paladin, warrior, whatever. And yes, so you just pick your character and then you fight. Currently, I believe this is head-to-head mode. There is no discernible difference between head-to-head and practice that I am aware of, because it's just you pick your character and then you fight an NPC. It's not like practice is training dummy mode or anything. It's the same mode twice, and you just fight. I don't know anything about fighting games. Like, that's not this game's fault, but I don't know anything about fighting games, and this game didn't help, because there's no, like, move list anywhere. After the fact, I went online and could find a move list, so maybe it was included in the manual or something, but during play, nothing was explained to me.
Dig that rip-off Klingon bat lift, though.
This looks worse than, like, the really, like, lesser known PS1 Kamen Rider fighting games.
Look at this.
How can it be worse?
The camera's lined up with me.
That was awful.
I know. So yeah, the controls are atrocious. There's 3D movement, like it's trying to be the precursor to Soul Calibur or something, and it's really not good. And the edges of the arena will damage you quite a lot. I think multiple times either I or the AI have KO'd ourselves by running into like the sides of the arena.
Incredible.
Oh, it's like the world's shittest Tekken clone. It's so bad.
Have you ever in your life had a fighting game where getting up against the corner just damaged you?
No.
Exactly.
Have you ever had a fighting game where, like, sometimes the camera perfectly aligns so you can't see yourself and you're just looking at a gimp's ass?
Oh my god! Oh my god! I just realized that Batleth thing is a fucking bow. He fired it.
Yeah! You still haven't realized
The
that.
bow with spikes on it.
Oh my god.
is not good.
Why is he beating people to death with a spiky bow?
Why is he not shooting them?
This is like George's gunslinger, like affixing bayonet to his blunderbuss, except with a bow.
Bayonet. Bayonet.
I believe that so last thing I showed was head-to-head mode, which is where you just pick a guy and you go to fight. I believe this is campaign mode where you are assembling a party.
The paladin is literally just Arthas.
Yes.
Yeah.
This one you assemble a party of people who will go.
Where's that thing on
I'm
the right?
gonna let your cat go for a second.
1 second. Alright. I'm back.
Hello,
Welcome
Daniel.
back. Welcome back.
Don't worry, I killed the cat.
Oh, good.
Okay,
Lovely.
good. Understandable.
Okay. I hear it in the distance.
Alright, so I may have exaggerated. My cat's-
Continue.
Terrorishment.
Oh, okay,
loading.
yeah.
It's
It's
loading.
the loading screen takes for fucking ever.
Just one game.
Oh, okay. Oh, so hold on. I want to explain my behavior during this fight and every time I'm playing as the Hobbit. I had looked online at YouTube videos prior to playing this, and I had seen that one guy was able to stun lock an entire fight because the Hobbit's attack is so long. So I wanted to try doing that. I never successfully do it.
What's
It's
that
very
thing you're
sad.
fighting though? What the fuck is that meant to be?
I'm not sure. I think it has a name, but I don't know what the actual creature is.
It looks like a kangaroo from Chernobyl.
Why is the game look worse? How did it get worse?
Perhaps B, ergo the Margoyle?
Margoyle!
I am on the Wikipedia page for this game, and that is the first character it lists as villain.
Ah, yes, the marigold.
Margoyle!
Is that like a
Okay.
different type of gargoyle?
Quite possibly. But moving on to actual discussions of the game, I don't know if it's just I'm more comfortable with certain characters, but certain characters just seem way fucking better than other characters. Like, specifically the dwarf and the paladin are just way better than, like, the elf or, like, the hobbit or whatever.
So who is it that's walking into a wall constantly there? Was that you or the enemy?
So the enemy is Gimp Man currently.
So that was
were
you.
walking into the wall.
Yeah, nice. Oh, it wasn't
Is he
until
missing an
later.
arm?
Yeah, he's
Is
missing
the
an arm.
dwarf?
Yeah, look at it.
Maybe.
Yeah,
Wait,
he's
so
got
is
an
there
arm.
no health bar in this game? No way of telling how
So the
much?
health bars. You see the torches on the end.
Oh.
as they go down.
That's
it.
fucking
it's not a very
garbage.
good indicator of
Oh, that's
how you're
bad.
doing. But yeah, this is my first victory. I did it.
Yay.
Hey.
Congrats.
This is
I will achieve a few more of those. But yeah, so the health bars are the like torches in the side. It does not adequately explain how much health you have, basically ever. As you go through the campaign, the match objectives, like, I guess they're different, because sometimes when you start a match, most of the time you start a match, it says, match objective, magic power. But sometimes it's match objective, resurrection. I don't know what any of that means. It's not explained anywhere. But what I think is that if you win a match during campaign, you actually get, like, a power-up on your character. Like, they try to implement, like, RPG stuff. Like, for the next fight, your guy will be stronger. Like, if I win this fight, which I think I do, the paladin gets stronger.
I'm sorry, I just can't see a skeleton jumping about and headbutting the barrier without laughing. Oh,
The skeleton
continue.
looks like a shit medieval.
Oh. What is it? Every time you do a combo in this game, it says combo. But it never explains at any point how to do the combo, so I do just devolve to button mashing and trying to figure out the combos that it tells me I'm doing. But I have no idea. I have no idea what I'm doing. There's no move list. It's awful.
Oh my god.
I'm gonna try it. Oh yeah, go.
So first of all, I have discovered that a Margoyle is a thing. It is just a worse gargoyle.
So this game is lore accurate.
So they're marginally gargoyle.
Yes. And then, I forgot the other thing I was going to say, so carry on.
Okay. So this is Elf Lady, I think. I don't think I at any point win a match with her. Because I don't know how to make her less atrocious than any of the others. Far and away the best guy is the Paladin. I think I win like all but one match with the Paladin. And based on some reading that I had seen on like forums, I don't know whether or not this is true, but I think there's like magic weapons and shit. Like the Paladin might have a magic weapon that does more damage against other creatures. I don't know whether or not that's true or if they thought about the balance implications of including that within a fighting game, but the Paladin is definitely way better than any of the other guys, so I don't know. And apparently there's artifacts you can obtain that unlock special moves. I don't know how any of it works. It's not explained anywhere in the game. I've tried to somewhat piece this together by reading old game FAQs, like guides, and like forum posts and watching other people's YouTube videos. But the consistency of the game it's not there. There's no flow. Nothing is explained. Maybe if I had a manual, but I do not have a manual. Also, I died really fast here.
I
might have missed it. Was that the match where I was standing up near the end and banged my head against the wall?
Yes.
Yes.
Nice. Yeah, that pissed me off when that happened. Because standing up knocked me up against the corner and I fell right back down. What the fuck? Why would you include that? Why is that a mechanic?
Well, yeah, no. This does not seem like a very good game. I can't get over the fucking health bars being fire. Also, is there no time limit?
I don't think so.
Because that's kind of important in fighting games too.
Is it? Is this game not the masterpiece? Is that the pinnacle of fighting games?
No, it's absolutely the pinnacle of fighting games. Just look at that background of houses.
I am watching you fighting right now. This is the Citizen Kane of fucking fighting games.
This might be the best D&D fighting game if there are no other D&D fighting games.
I'm not sure. There's a contender that a few turn-based ones might be better fighting games than this.
My god.
So is there even much more to say on this piece of garbage?
I'm kind of running out of things to say. Some of these matches are funny, but I don't know that there's a whole lot more for me to commentate.
Is there any redeeming quality in this game besides the fact it can be funny sometimes?
No, that would be it. If you want to actually have fun playing a game, I mean, almost anything. Look at this fucking camera work. Oh my god.
Listen, all I'm saying
Almost anything else would be better.
Is everyone watching?
so
Stay tuned for our fighting game tournament in this game.
Oh lord.
I refuse to play this game.
You don't get to refuse if you want to stay on the team. Sorry, pal.
Ah, no.
You will be part of it. We've already got the brackets ready to go, motherfucker.
We've got the brackets.
Now.
The brackets are on screen right now.
Fighting game or you're fired.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so, as for if this game has any requeeming, Lord, oh god. This game has been breaking my brain, forgive me.
Redeeming.
Any redeeming qualities other than it's funny? No. If you want to play this for a podcast that you do with 4 friends every few weeks, then play this game. If you're not doing it for a podcast, or a YouTube video, or like just to express to the world how bad it is for clickbait and views like I am, don't play this game. It's just atrocious.
So in that
So
case,
I have a
Sleeper.
question.
Ooh, go
Yeah.
for it.
When we were talking about this game maybe a week or two ago, I said that I would like to call Strahd if, in fact, the Dark Lords are represented. And were you just lying to me when you said Strahd was in the game, or?
Daniel,
Yep.
fire up the
I
second
got
video.
it. Don't
Oh,
worry. All
I
right.
was waiting for this.
There's a second video! Cursed Strahd!
There,
Oh
Cursed
my God.
Strahd MP4.
That's Strahd. Oh no.
So there's a key combination you can enter on the character select screen, and you can play as Strahd. Oh my god! You know, wait for it. It's like it's a really simple code. It's like full circle and then rotate around. There he is. There's my boy.
Oh no.
Oh, I'm scared.
It is an easy code combination, but Strahd is evidently a boss character you can fight within the campaign. I never got that far. The footage I had of the campaign didn't go that bit. But this is Strahd. He...
What? What?
Oh no.
And Strahd and his incredibly powerful legs that reach like 15 feet. He's...
Where was his flying spin kick mechanic in the fighting game? Where was it?
Yeah, when you were DMing Strahd, Curse of Strahd for us, why didn't Strahd do the Russian dance and kick us really hard?
It's a horrible deconstruction of one of the most iconic D&D villains. Look at it! Look at it go!
Yeah, look at him go. What
So
the fuck?
I'm sure he has other moves other than, like, Russian folk kick. But I don't fucking know what they are, so I don't do them. This is the kick is super effective.
Oh man. He has a fireball.
Oh yeah, he has a fireball. I do remember doing that at least once. But you know, like my win rate is like, I don't know, 40% for everyone else. I just consistently win. I assume Strahd is just better than everyone else, which is why I think he needs to be banned for our tournament.
This is understandable.
Yeah. I'll test him out and see if he needs to be banned.
However,
but it's
I
probably
would not
yes.
mind an exhibition match against AI Strahd for the winner of the tournament.
Nice. I don't know how you can...
Is there any way to do that? No, probably not.
See, that's the thing. Like, I know how to select Strahd if you want to play as him. To actually fight him, I think you need to play the campaign.
That's not happening.
We'll do some research. We'll figure this out. There has to be
Listen,
a
when
way.
I win the tournament, I'll go through the campaign and play against him.
Look, I'm sure emulators support Game Shark codes. Like, we'll figure out the Game Shark code in
Oh,
order
nice.
to
There
make
you
go.
Strahd be CPU 2. So, here it is. Is this what you wanted out of Strahd, Catman? Here you
This
go.
is Strahd.
This is
That's who I
everything I could ever ask for and more.
No, it didn't end. It was just a consistent...
Wait, what did... Oh, you were on... He was on the side of you. Why did that fucking kick hit?
I don't know.
Oh, God.
The hitboxes, I bet leave something to be desired for professional fighting games.
I want to see the hitboxes. I want to see them.
It's just a big square. It's just a square taking up the whole screen.
Oh, God. Well,
There we go.
Okay.
on
That
that
was,
note,
For bringing
God.
that to us, Sleeper, that was brilliant.
This was a gift.
and on that
That
note,
was something.
Sleeper, how many
Yeah.
Margoyles out of 5 would you give this?
I give this. I don't remember. Are we allowed to give zeros?
We're allowed
I
to
give-
give 0. I think you gave a 0 last time.
All right. Is this worse than March of the Penguins?
I mean, at least you could do things in this game.
This game
You know-
works.
Whether or not it's
Defeated
worse than
someone?
March of the Penguins, it's definitely within a 0.5 like iteration. So I'm gonna round it down. I gave this game 0 Margoyles out of 5.
All right,
You
we're
know
off
what,
to a
guys?
strong
Dibs on the
start.
Margoyle. Dibs on
Nice.
the Margoyle.
Listen, I'm sure this game, multiple people can play the same character.
Oh god,
I
everyone just calls
assume.
Margoyles.
I've never tried, actually. I don't think at any point in time I've
You
done
didn't
that.
check if it was...
But yeah, that was that was something.
Something really special.
That was
Yes,
a
it
video
was.
game that we watched.
It's
That was
really
a-
too bad that they didn't make a good fighting game with all of the Dark Lords of Ravenloft, because I've looked up some of these characters and none of them, like all of these, are just made for the game, as far as I can tell.
Yeah, I mean, as far as like the special unlock characters go, I believe in the game FAQs guide it was just described as like minion of Strahd, greater minion of Strahd, and the last one was Strahd. So it's just, well,
So when they say
yes.
Ravenloft, they really do mean that particular realm of the Demiplane of Dread and not any others.
yeah.
Let's go, George. George, you ready?
Me?
Fucking ready, George?
Absolutely. Give me a second because I've got to practice my Portuguese pronunciation so I don't
Oh,
butcher this
boy.
country.
I'm excited now.
Right, there's the website. That's where I got this from.
Oh, shit, a minute,
Espace
speaking of Hades?
Informatica? This is Hades 2, the first game by Espace Informatica. There is no Hades 2. It
What?
doesn't exist.
What do you...
It's their first game.
It's the
It is
it's
their
the
first
sequel
game
to
ever.
Hit Game
It
Hades
is
by
called
Super
Hades 2.
Giant
I don't know
Games.
if they were trying to imply the game was a second hell or something, and there's some translation issue. I don't know.
Is this like, maybe it's like the sequel to the Grecian myth?
I don't know. It has nothing to do with that. It's just aliens. There's nothing. It's just called Hades 2. It's the first game. Play the video. I'll talk as we go.
I shall
So-
play the video.
This is Hades 2. This is a first-person shooter from 1999, so don't be shocked when it looks slightly out of date. Turn the sound down a bit.
That.
Oh, yeah. Turn sound down.
Developed by...
This is actually
Oh, God!
fine in comparison to what I was expecting.
You said that. Yeah.
Is that Neo? Yeah.
Right. No, this was developed in Brazil by a Brazilian company, published in Brazil and Europe, fairly popular in the country. But before I get into the game, I just want to say that Espace Informatica renamed themselves to Invent4 at some point since 1999. And in doing my background research for this, the same programmer who made this game was the programmer for Bad Rats.
Oh, no!
Oh,
Bad
no.
Rats! It's the same people. This is
Oh,
their
no.
first game. I didn't know that until like
What
the
is
other
Neo
day
doing
doing an
there?
RPG. It's not very good for
What?
the time, but we'll get into it.
Uh,
It has mouse look, right? It has mouse look,
That's something.
which you toggle it on and off, but it's awful. It's just awful. It's very floaty, and everything's very floaty, and the screen flickers randomly. And to get the game to work on a modern system, I had to download a 3DFX to like DirectX 11, like DLL pack to make the game even run.
Oh.
You had to
Even that
download
was-
the downgrade patch?
Yeah, pretty much.
Was it worth it?
Considering I'm fairly interested in the genre, yes, actually, this was interesting to look at. But moving with mouse look, because you know, in the olden days, in the before times, you wouldn't have mouse looks. You just move your keyboard, and the camera would shift like that. You'd use arrow keys and stuff. Even when you turn mouse look on, it still moves your character very slightly.
No! No!
Oh,
So if you're ever doing any sort of platforming, there's a few occasions where you do have to do platforming. You turn left, and then you move left and fall off the platform and take 2 damage.
Oh, no!
And combining this with the fact that aiming is pinpoint precise, pinpoint, you have to get your crosshair exactly over the enemy, who move quite vertically. Some of them move up and down quite far. Some of the ones that fly, you have to back up consistently and hope you can keep backing up because you have limited vertical aim. You can't look up all the way, so they can just hover above you, just above your head. Doesn't work.
So, is there like a look up on the keyboard as well?
Yes, but I didn't. I didn't touch it. The keyboard did weird things when I tried to do keyboard moving about. It made the screen flash. I'm assuming that's something about bodging it, making it work. I didn't touch those.
That's probably not great.
Just compounding all of these sort of weird off issues. When you or your enemy get hit, they have this mechanic where you actually stumble when you get hit. But you stumble for a fair amount of time, so if you get stuck getting hit by an enemy, it can take you about 10 seconds to get out of the hit chain.
Wait, can you get stun locked? Is that what you're telling me?
Yes, you can get stun locked in this game. You can get stun locked.
Oh, look at this! That looks so annoying.
Yeah, it's awful. And it makes you shake all about, but the enemies do it too, so if you get the jump on the enemy, you stun lock them and they die. That's it. They don't win.
To see who shoots first, man.
Yeah.
The beer power-up.
God forbid you ever be up against two enemies at once, or it's an instant loop.
Later on, there is a corridor full of. It goes completely pitch black, and there's like 8 enemies shooting. They all have like targeting rocket launchers. They all have like seeker missiles that come at you and curve slightly. It goes pitch black, and there's 9 of them, and they're invisible in the dark.
God.
What the fuck?
This is the first level. It's.
Oh god!
You know,
Listen to the symphony of that gun. That's a good gun sound effect.
Some of the sound effects are really interesting, but what can you do? The combat ends up being less trying not to die and more trying not to be stun locked for 20 minutes, so you can actually continue and play the game.
Can I ask
consistently? Why has it been paused?
What is the game? Like what? Oh,
so
yeah.
The combat ends up being don't get stun locked, or let's say you're gonna die. I think I died twice in my whole 8 runs of this first level trying to get it done. But it's just more so it doesn't take 20 years to progress. It's really bad because health. Oh, you go.
Oh, I was gonna ask what is the story to this? Why is it Hades 2?
I don't know why it's Hades 2 because from what I could tell from the.
Why is there a stripper running at you?
Because there's NPCs who shoot and run about and. No NPCs who fire back and they're all motion capture. Oh, you're about to see some of that stick platforming. But yeah, no. You never really die in this game without going through some sort of horrible accident. Because health doesn't work like you would expect. In other first-person shooters, there's health drops on the floor, you pick them up, and you can only pick up as much as you can heal. But in this, you have an extra health bar, because health is like batteries. You pick up health batteries, and as you take damage, it also fills your health up slowly. So you're really hard to kill. Really hard to kill.
As you take damage, it also fills your health up slowly?
Yes. You pick up the packs off the floor, and you can see at the bottom there's health, and then there's like a little health pack with about the same amount in it.
Yeah.
As you take damage, it will auto heal you from that. As you can see, look.
Okay.
Like over time, it's like a regenerative thing.
So you have health regen, but from pickups, which is interesting. That's an actually interesting health mechanic.
Yeah.
I like that.
Interesting, yeah.
I like that, but it sounds like it'd make it too easy if they did it poorly.
It does. I like I said, I've barely ever died.
Well, you see, that's why they need to balance out the easiness with throwing 8 Seeker missile launcher invisible enemies in the black corridor.
Yeah,
It's unlocked in the process.
Yeah. Again, so that just compounds all of the issues into just not getting hit, so you can continue playing the game and with like a reasonable degree of speed rather than actually the threat of dying being looming upon you like some games. But yeah, and as for the pickups and stuff, there's a pistol. You pick up another pistol. There was a shotgun at some point that sucks. It's got like no range on it whatsoever. There's grenades and so on, and all of the enemies have rockets, Seeker rockets that explode, or big like lightning balls that also track and explode. That's all I saw. There's health pickups. There's
Did you just
shields.
throw a grenade at point blank range and
Yes, because I didn't know what it was, and it barely did any damage to me. Yeah.
Incredible.
Are there any melee weapons, or is
There's
the
one.
shotgun just the
You
melee
have
weapon?
you have this
Wolverine
like
claws.
you have this like sick like robot Wolverine claw you get out that extends and slashes. It's actually cool. It's a cool weapon. There you go. I think I just heard it.
You did it.
But yeah, no, the weapons are fine. They're what you would expect, and the pickups are what you would expect. There's shields and health and coffee and cans of beer to drink. There's a beer button that didn't work with mouse look on. It only worked when you didn't have mouse look on because you had to press B, but turning mouse look on disabled that for some reason.
Well, you can't not have the beer button.
I know.
Is even a video game without the beer
I
button?
believe you are currently encountering me not being able to look up high enough from the sound of it.
That's
And just
awful.
panicking and standing in a corridor because there's a flying drone that I cannot shoot whatsoever without getting the hell away.
You know, I have to point this out.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it wasn't meant to be this way, but the graphic on that beer can really just looks like an eye, like a green, like human eye.
I don't know what it is.
It's kind of bugging me out right now.
I mean, I see a skull.
Drink the eye juice.
I can see where you're coming from. The eye.
So yeah, but the main problem with this game that I had was that it has really large open levels, right? They're really good, actually. There's secrets, there's a bunch of verticality, there's teleporting about, there's a key card to pick up. I don't remember ever using the key card specifically, but there was a key card. And there's those funny NPCs you stand about that say badly recorded voice lines. There's one.
Save me, save me, save me. I'm a
And
stripper, save me.
actually help.
I'm
But-
so interested in I want to understand the context of all this. Like, why are there just strippers in this, like, military
You're like a
base?
secret agent or something, and aliens invade. There's like a really badly 3D rendered cutscene that wouldn't record no matter what I did.
Why is
Oh.
it
That
Hades
shows it.
2?
I don't know. I don't know. I can't answer that. There is no answer. But yeah,
I don't know.
the levels-
Contact the guy directly and find out.
Yeah, sure. I will call Mr. Bad Rats and see if he remembers his stuff. But no, like a lot of the level, there's only places accessible by breaking the windows or smashing vents and going through, which is fairly interesting, but not exactly a new idea even in 1999. There's a lot of damageable objects other than that, but they seemingly all explode. Anything that doesn't smash explodes and nearly kills you. Oh god, look at that stun. I hate it.
Oh,
God.
no.
But yeah, the main problem with exploring these massive levels that are really intricate and have loads of verticality and teleporting and stuff is there's no map. There's no map. Also, I thought at the time of recording, until I did a bit more research today and actually read the Wikipedia page all the way through again, there is a map. You have to put in a cheat code to access the map.
You
have to add a cheat code.
What, you want a map, you filthy fucking cheater?
You casual.
Alright, casual.
Casual.
You want a map? Well, now you need the shame of knowing that you're cheating. That's how you can get a map. So,
Actually,
baby man. Baby man.
having this map would have helped because to progress in the level, I think you need the key card and you need to turn 2 different generators on to make the final door open so you can go through and teleport out of the level.
Got, like...
But finding my way around that took me like several tries of me getting bored after half an hour of playing.
At least from, like, an outside perspective, I have no idea what your objective right now is. A
go
map
through the
seems like
level.
it would be really helpful.
Yeah, no, it would be brilliant if I had a map that showed me things, because it's not like other games of this type, like Duke Nukem and Doom and so on, where there's a key card or you're just progressing and shooting things and you know which way you're going because the level generally progresses in that direction. This is like a big open map
Yeah.
where you just can't figure it out. But eventually I did manage it on my most recent run through, and it worked, and it actually ended. This game does end.
Okay.
Wait, you beat it?
This level ends. No, I didn't
Oh, the
beat.
level
I beat the level. I beat the level. I have not beat this game yet, but I
You know,
will strive to.
it could have been the case that the game was 1 level long, for all I knew.
No.
It's gonna be
I mean,
Actually,
it would match the quality of other games we've played on this podcast.
the Brazilian devs at the time were actually trying to make a video game all the way through, and they did a fairly good job considering what they were working with. Because, like, this is really outdated for when it came out. It came out in 1999 when you had Half-Life and Unreal Tournament and Quake 3.
Yeah.
This game is like mid-90s, what you would expect, like after Doom a bit. This is
a
that.
Doom clone when Half-Life was around already, so yeah.
Yeah, this, which I think makes sense considering it was made by basically a small indie company in late 90s Brazil.
I mean, yeah.
When you factor that in, I think this is a really impressive thing that they managed to do, because as far as I can tell, this is their engine. This doesn't run on build or anything. This is their game that they made from the ground up.
The technical achievements of just like these guys is way more than like a normal person could do, but way less than we expect from a game developer.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
is the issue.
But this was mainly for me. I actually enjoyed playing this game because it was just really interesting to look at a small, like an indie. You get this kind of game now. Like it's got popular to bring out boomer shooters, where you're trying to capture that old first-person shooter feel. This is an indie game from the time. That's what they're called. They're boomer shooters. They're called boom. They are boomer shooters. That is official.
I've never heard that before. I guess I'm
there.
Because for you it's just a shooter.
Yeah. So Catman, you know how back in the day when first-person shooters were fun? Yeah, they're deriding us for liking those.
Well, look, I really like those. This is my favorite kind of game. This is my favorite kind of shooter.
Listen,
and one of my favorite kind of games to muck about in.
Just because they're boomer shit doesn't mean they're bad, you know?
But with that low production quality that they had, and the low production cost, obviously, because this is, I think this sold fairly well in Brazil.
Underwater.
Yes, this is really like a weird indie version of Duke Nukem, is what I would call it.
I hope the underwater segment doesn't last very long. I hate underwater segments.
No, it's like
also, it's making the UI flash.
Yeah, I couldn't fix that no matter what I did. There's just no.
I like the bubbles that are just clearly like 2D circles that they drew.
But, like, considering that, like, the effects like that, they're not very good, and the sounds are bad, and the recording was obviously just like them getting some people who worked for the game company to record lines.
Like that was traditional, right?
Yeah, and like some of the random like ambient sounds are just like random like growl.mp3. There's just a whale noise that plays sometimes. There it is. It's just a whale.
That was good timing.
It's just whale sometimes.
What the shit?
That is a whale. That is 100% a whale.
It's just whale noise.
They just got like.
This game really endeared itself to me for what it is, and it was really, really impressive.
Is there a whale in that water?
No, there's no whale. This happens everywhere. This monster doesn't make that noise. That noise happens inside on every bit of the level. They die, it still happens. That noise is ambient. That is just a random ambient sound effect. But yeah, this
Too
game...
bad. They really missed a golden opportunity to have a whale.
They did?
I don't want to see what they would have done trying to program that.
I do.
Fair enough. Actually, that would have been interesting.
It just
oh god,
the sky instead of a
oh god, the
just
UI
considering
broke.
all of this, and considering what I see here, and how they eventually got like partnerships and publishing over in Europe, I think from Britain even, to make games. I was really hoping that this programmer and the team who had made this game had gone on and continued to make good games, but I hadn't heard about them because they're Brazilian. I had heard about them. It was Bad Rats they made. They made Bad Rats. And I don't know how many people there are who don't know what Bad Rats is, but that is a game that people would send to you on Steam as a joke to own you.
Yeah. This was prior to the days where you could decline gifts. So you would just forever curse someone's Steam account with Bad Rats, and you couldn't get rid of it.
That's it in my head somewhere. I'm almost certain.
Currently, purchase it for 99 cents.
You can, and you can support the exact same guy who made this game. And I would genuinely, if he made video games like this more and less Bad Rats.
If
This
you
is
want
really
to encourage
upsetting.
him to make more games, buy Bad Rats on Steam. It's
No.
Don't buy Bad Rats on Steam.
Try
Send it
and
to
figure
your
out who
friend.
the programmer is and say, wow, your first-person shooter was really genuinely quite cool for what you had and what the time was.
By the
Do
way,
more
why
of
is
that.
it Hades 2?
But yeah, that's what I can only assume that it was like, oh, this is the second hell or something, something like that. It must work differently in Portuguese or something. But I think, oh god,
Save me,
Save me, save me, save me.
Can I just say that you just broke and robbed a beer vending machine?
yes, I did, and got many beers that I can't drink because Mouse Look doesn't let you drink beer.
Understandable.
Is that something they have in Brazil? Do they have beer vending machines?
I've never seen beer in a vent. Oh god, it's
Oh,
this
here we
shit.
go.
Oh, here we go.
Oh!
My lord.
I just give up and stop throwing explosives if I yeah.
Yeah.
This game, I'm going to strive to complete it just for the sake of it,
Yeah.
because this is one of the most interesting looks at a first-person shooter that I've ever had, and this is so far, even considering what you've seen, this is my favourite game I've played for this podcast because it feels like exactly what I wanted to play for this podcast. You know,
Yeah.
something really niche and really slightly off, but still interesting and still with like flashes of something good going on.
Even more
Shit,
than
that
the,
shotgun is
the side-scroller one?
Sticks World?
No, not that one.
Abuse.
Sticks World. Oh
Abuse.
god.
Abuse.
Abuse, that was it.
Abuse is a
Yeah.
game that I've known and a game that I've liked, and that was there always, but that just didn't tick the boxes for me because that is actually a really good video game. That is a game I really like, and I don't think it was horribly unpopular at the time. It's in lists of DOS games you should play and so on. That's probably where I found it back in the
There
day.
goes Matrix, man.
Careful.
But yeah, this game and the people who make it, good on them. Just good on them for actually managing to do this.
Not good on them after the fact, because
But no, Bad Rats, you haven't you need to make this again, but better to redeem Bad Rats in my mind because that's just cursed. Look at this. I think this is where I give up and just finish the level. Yeah, look, I actually managed to speak for a whole video about this game.
So, on that note, how many Bad Rats out of 5 would you give this?
3.
3 Bad Rats?
Considering everything about it and considering where it's from and when it was made and by who, this was a genuinely good effort at a first-person shooter
Nice.
for them. It still has glaring issues that could make the game not recommended. Don't play this game unless you're really interested in first-person shooters. But that's Hades too.
That's Hades too. The second Hades. Alright, so moving on from George, let's go on to Catman.
All right.
Catman,
boy.
you played...
I played Dragon Ball Plan to Eradicate the Super Saiyans, or Dragon Boru Super Saiyajin Zetsumetsu Kekaku. I turned German for a second there, but that's all right.
Alright, it looks like this is recording, so I'll play it when you're ready.
I'm ready. So, the first thing that I want to say about this game is that it was never released in the West. This was only ever released in Japan. It was for the Famicom, also known as the NES in the West. So, as I am judging it harshly, as I'm about to, I need you to understand that that is tempered with the fact that this is a bad fan translation.
Oh boy.
Beautiful.
So, there is the plot of this game is really long, as you're about to see me speed through it, and it is completely unskippable. That is the first problem that you have. It's also bad. Like, this is kind of unique because there were a lot of games that were kind of like this game. I've played some of them before, and this has nothing to do with the show or the main canon of Dragon Ball. This is actually what they would call a Gaiden game. It's a side story. So the plot is that the world is filling with Destron gas, which kills all cells that it touches, and Goku doesn't know what a cell is, so he's like, "What's wrong with that?"
Well,
Yeah.
that's
So
a
here we have
Yeah.
the combat
doesn't-
system.
doesn't learn what cell is until like season 4.
That's true. And I think this is supposed to take place like either like right before, like during the training for the androids, right? So this is the combat system, and the animations are actually quite good, as you can see, especially for the NES era, right? Here's the problem. There is zero effort or explanation to explain what the fuck you're supposed to do.
Do you know what you're supposed to do?
This day, no.
Oh,
There are. So I figured out a few things. The things that I figured out were that this is a card-based system. You draw random cards, okay? And depending upon which 3 cards you choose will depend on what attack you use in combat. And there are certain combinations of these cards that will do special attacks. Now, the only special attack I've ever managed is something that I found out was basically translated to just Energy Blast, okay? So what you have to do is, as you see the cards, you'll see that there's a Dragon Ball in the upper left corner of each card, right? So these are numbered from 1 to 7, and also Z being the strongest, or Z for our British viewers. And you have to...
Don't give in.
We call it Dragon Ball Z anyway, God.
Hits. All right, cool.
Yeah.
So you use these both to move around these maps. Like, the map movement is legitimately turn-based. And so, like, a card with 7 stars on it will move you 7 spaces. There's random encounters and all that shit. And there's also these other symbols, like down at the bottom right of these cards. These do different things. I don't fully understand what all of them are. Some of them give you new cards or upgrade existing cards, and there's a whole system. And they each have these kanji, these Japanese symbols on them that I'm pretty sure you're supposed to be able to read and understand.
Yeah, I think that would help.
And that was really the main problem with this game, is that I could never really fully... Oh, and then there's these training bits, but we'll get there. So I'm pretty sure that you're supposed to put combinations of these kanji together to form, like, sentences, like attack names, perhaps. And that's how you do the special moves. So I never got any farther than this map that we're on right here. There's, like, apparently 5 maps in the game. And you're supposed to go to destroy the sources of this Destron gas. Basically, this whole game feels really needlessly complex. Like, beyond the fact that I don't understand Japanese, right? Because, first of all, and this is a message that goes out to anyone who is translating anything ever, especially fan translators. If you're going to translate a game, you make goddamn sure everything's translated. You put words on those goddamn cards next time, okay?
You know, considering the rest of this game, these little fight animations are actually pretty cool.
yeah.
I
I
agree.
quite like
That is
those.
by far the best part of the game. Sadly, they are also unskippable, and they get really tiresome after a few minutes.
I can see that.
Yeah.
It looks like enough effort went into this game that it might be a good game.
It might
But
be. We don't
being
know.
able to decipher pixelated kanji like shoved at the bottom of the screen seems like it would be an issue, though.
I can actually offer some insight into this game because I've actually heard of it before, vaguely.
Have you?
In that, I don't know which way around it was, but this was an OVA, a Dragon Ball OVA movie from the early 90s. And the movie was either a tie-in to this, a tie-in to this, or the other way around, maybe. So
Right.
it's a movie tie-in game.
Maybe I should go watch it. Maybe I should go watch the
re-released-
OVA.
They re-released that OVA for Dragon Ball Raging Blast 2 like 10 years ago.
Huh.
I remember that. I remember the plot. I don't know if the plot's going to work out the same way, but I've
Mhm.
heard of this. So it could
and-
be good. Could be.
I like that I visit a house and there's just nobody there.
It's just
So,
an empty house.
Well, all of their cells got destroyed by the gas.
Also, on this map, Krillin's house exists. I think I find it at some point, and he tells me that to do one of my special moves. Oh, I forgot. There's actually an in-plot justification for why these cards are here. So the Destron gas, because like in the first fight, it's like Goku tries to use his Kamehameha wave, and he can't. And then Mr. Popo's like, yeah, it's because of Destron gas, stupid. It's draining your power. So you can only use it sometimes, and that's like the in-game justification for the cards. But yeah, you do find Krillin at some point, and he's like, yeah, one of your attacks it's 3 fists. Like, and I assume that is one of the kanji that you can find.
Is it not just the fist symbol that appears on them sometimes?
You know,
'Cause
that
I've seen
had
a fist
occurred to me
symbol.
as I'm looking at it right now. So maybe. Maybe I made some wrong assumptions about the game.
Perhaps,
but-
just a tiny bit.
The truth is I couldn't be asked. Like, I was so angry at this after a certain point because I searched all over the internet. There is precisely one guide about this game, and it is presented as a narrative and gives you almost no useful information.
Understandable.
But, you know, I'm a stubborn motherfucker, so I had to keep going until I got enough material to talk about this for about 15 minutes. By the way, how am I doing on time?
You're 8 minutes in, and I feel like you're already running out of stuff to talk about.
So yeah, I think we're done.
All
I
right.
think we're done with this game.
I'm gonna ask anyways, even though I don't think it's justifiable to give this a rating. How many shittily translated kanji out of 5 would you give this?
I'm actually going to give it a 1.5 with room to grow because there might actually be potential here that I just don't understand.
Yeah, that's fair. I guess that's that short segment
That
this
is
time
that.
around.
Nice short and
Good
sweet.
enough.
Yeah.
Next time I will have a much more detailed game.
Thank God. That will be.
We will move
I mean,
right
you don't
along.
need a more detailed game.
You need
more
one you
decipherable game.
understand.
Yeah,
need a
it's in
language
English.
to
It was
understand.
made in English. It's fine. It's fine. I can
Okay.
read it.
Half
Thank God.
English. Half English, pretty much.
Okay.
That was good.
Yeah.
Playing games in your language probably a good idea. You know?
Yeah. You know, I was kind of balls deep in the game before I realized what was going on with it, so I wasn't gonna go back.
That's fair.
The OVA is good.
Nice.
I will have to go and watch that.
Which was the OVA? Which one was
Plan
it?
to eradicate the Super Saiyans.
It's time for us to become a reaction
Destron
channel
gas
and post our
and the-
reaction to the OVA.
And the gas turns.
no!
Oh,
The gas,
is that
the
the
gas,
one?
yeah,
where-
it forms like Freezer and
Yes, it
Cooler out
forms
of
free.
gas.
I remember this one.
It
Okay.
turns into movie villains and
Yes,
stuff
I
out
remember
of
that.
gas, and they all fight.
I remember it has what was it? Oh, the guy who looks exactly like Goku comes back from
Turles. Yes.
Yeah, Turles from Tree of Might. I remember this.
And fucking Slug and shit. Yeah, it was great.
All
It
right,
was a good OVA.
now before this becomes a Dragon Ball podcast,
Too late, too late, too late!
we're moving on to the next game. Schizo,
Hello. Hi.
what
Hello.
game did you play this time around?
I played a man called Burly Men at Sea.
Oh no!
Oh no.
Well,
No!
I'm
No,
glad you're staying
sir.
within your interest.
Alright, so I played this game. I don't know if I can call this a game, to be honest, because even by the people who made the game's very admission, it's like a halfway between a visual novel and a point-and-click adventure. And
Oh.
yeah, and that interested me because I do like point-and-clicks, but it also concerned me because I don't like visual novels. So I was hoping it would be more point-and-click and less visual novel.
Were your hopes satisfied? I have to ask, just right up front.
Right now, I genuinely don't know how I feel about this game.
All right.
Fucking advert for something.
I gotta say, when you described it as Burly Men at Sea, the first thing that popped into my head was Russell Crowe from South Park, like making movies, making songs,
Fighting around the world.
Around the world. Okay, so the main premise of this story is that you are 3 burly men and you go out at sea. Who would have guessed? But the reason you go out at sea is because you're fishing. There's the 3 burly men.
Wow, they really are burly. Look at
Yeah,
them.
look at them beards. But you find a message in a bottle, and you're curious as to what it means. So you kind of go out at sea and you go explore to try and discover the meaning of it. If I can remember the names of the characters, there's one called Brave Beard, one called Steady Beard, and I think the other one's called Hasty Beard. So there's the personalities of your characters. And
They're like the Spice Girls of sailors.
God.
so basically, this is the point and click part. There's not much really you do here. You just kind of. I play this on the console, so you just move the analog stick around until you just point and click on a character, and you just have a little bit of a dialogue with them. And I thought this would pretty much just be the entirety of it, but over time, it kind of does some interesting stuff, some really boring stuff, in my opinion. But the graphics, I think, it looks quite nice. I didn't like the music in this game. It was a bit a cappella, kind of like, and I wasn't a fan of it. But yeah, it was the first like 5 or 10 minutes. I had no idea what I was doing with this game because I knew nothing about this game, so I was just kind of wandering about.
I do like that the bears are just giant fucking balloons.
Oh yeah, it's great. I really like the art style of this game. It's very simplistic, but it's also very like unique in its own way.
It's very stylized.
It's great. Yeah.
Very stylized.
Like one thing I can say about this game is that it's a very pretty looking game, and you know, it's very inspired by Scandinavia and its folklore, which kind of surprised me because at first I thought it was just like a boring, okay, you're just 3 guys and you go out to sea and have a regular adventure. But then like it introduces like a bunch of like supernatural stuff, and it really took me by surprise. I think the biggest selling point, and I may as well say this now because I feel like this is the biggest thing in the game, is that you could beat, and I say this in quotes, you can beat this game in like 30 minutes. I beat this game in 45 minutes. But the thing is, each time you play it, the story changes. So because you find the map, and as you finish like whichever like playthrough of the game you have at the moment, it kind of fills in the map with whatever you find on the journey, and then it puts it on the shelf, and then you get another map, and you can fill that in with like different stuff. So I think the main objective of this game is just to like find as many of these adventures as you can.
So it's a roguelike
It's kind
point
of
and
like
click.
It's like a
visual
roguelike...
novel.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's a lot of things to
It's a lot
balance.
of things. It feels like an amalgamation of stuff that shouldn't really.
Burly men are at sea.
Burly men are at sea.
Oh, we did it.
And
Shit, that's it.
and this is when I was taken completely by surprise, because I thought it was just like, okay, so we're just gonna go on an adventure. We're gonna find another island and talk to people, maybe, and they'll come across another ship or a boat, and you know, just have a little bit of a fun adventure. Right?
Skip ahead. Oh,
There we
never
go.
mind.
There we go.
Oh,
The whale's back.
George the whale.
There he is. We found him.
God, there was one after
We
all.
finally found it. It's just in the other video. But yeah, this is the part where it starts to show the Scandinavian stuff. I think these were sirens. I think they were called.
Nice.
Nice.
And they kind of just tell you like, oh, hey, you're stuck in a whale. You could do this, this, or this. And because this was my first time playing, I had no idea about half of those. So I kind of just did the first thing I found, and that kind of set me on my path. But like, if you stayed with them long enough, or if you like looked in other areas, like I don't know if you could look in other areas and you can get it straight away or not. But like, as you continue with your playthroughs, you will discover more and more stuff in the rooms and shit.
They're nymphs.
Oh, the nymphs, not
Oh, that's even
sirens.
better.
Nice.
God.
Oh,
Nymphs love to. Never mind.
Not
No,
these
say
ones.
it, Catman. Don't be a fucking coward.
Nymphs love to fuck.
There we go.
Oh, there's the tagline.
I do like the writing for the characters, because I feel like by giving them the names that they have, you know, Hasty Beard, Brave Beard, and Steady Beard, that pretty much like gives you the idea of their personality, and you can just work on those personalities in that way. And for being like 2-dimensional characters, I think it adds some charm to it. Because as weird and like unsure about this game I will say the game is charming. Like, I did come to like enjoy the 3 burly men that were on the boat going at sea. Like the way the banter they had between each other, the way they talked to the people they came across, I just thought it was really charming. and like you could tell that the writing was made with love. It was made by two people who are married, so I'm
Aw.
sure they. Yeah, I know
That's
it's really
very
awesome.
sweet.
It was. Again, I don't really know what much more I could say about it other
I
than
mean,
like
if that's it, then that's it.
that's pretty much it. I haven't
This-
really got much
This
of a.
game just seems like the most indie game I've ever seen in my life in tone.
Yeah, it's such. A
I
good game,
mean,
it's just-
if when you hear the phrases visual novel, point and click, and roguelike all in one line, you know it's gonna be.
And then you see the art style. Look,
Then you
it's-
see the art
it
style.
has this very
yeah,
specific tone about it.
yeah, it has a very indie feel because
Did you just
obviously
go for a fucking what was that?
I
Did you go for a whale sphincter?
I
That's
don't know. I
disgusting.
don't know what that is, but I found the thing at the back of her throat, and this is a
uvula.
Well,
yeah, that's it. And
Well-
yeah, this was how this pretty much secured my story for this time because like if you're in the mouth of the if you're in the belly of a whale, you can find like a fair few ways to get out, or you can just stay in there for like a certain amount of time. I'm guessing. I decided to get launched out of a whale without my boat, which I realized was a terrible decision because now I didn't have a boat in the water.
Well, they're still at
That's
sea. They're just not in a boat.
It's still
at
at sea. They just don't have a boat. I don't know much more I could say. Like, I really don't know how I feel about this game, other than it's charming. It feels like it's trying to do too many things at once, and while it looks nice, I'm not a fan of the sound design in the game. But
Alright.
that's kind of like the majority of what I can say.
Well, if you
Also,
don't
this
have
part
any-
pissed me off. This part pissed me off because these guys are swimming in the water. This lasted for 2 minutes. This little trailer. Look what I did. I had to do this.
That's a brilliant punishment. This game's brilliant.
All
I
right.
stopped to try and go to the left.
Incredible.
I got to the right, and yeah. If we stop the video here, I'm sure there'll be plenty more surprises if anyone decides to play this themselves.
Yeah.
I think you can play this on like mobile, which I think if this game was just a mobile game, I feel like it would be like I don't know better. But like this came out for PC and PS4 and Vita first.
That's interesting because I feel like mobile isn't exactly the right platform for like a visual novel point and click esque
Yeah.
game because there's
I
gonna
was-
be a
This
lot
would
of
work
reading.
on a Vita though.
It
Yeah,
would
but
work
it's
on
on
a
a
Vita.
Vita.
I
Yeah.
can see that.
free time and you just want to have like a 30-minute adventure and just get a new experience each time. Like the adventures will always feel a little bit like the same, but they will always be that little bit different that keeps you like interested and charmed by the adventure itself. So
All right.
at the yeah,
Then how many burly men at sea would you give Burly Men at Sea out of
you know
5?
what? I don't hate this game.
3 burly men at sea.
I was about to say I don't hate this game. I don't love this game. I'll give it 3 burly men at sea because for what
Ah,
it is,
shit.
I do think it's charming and I think it's like it's cute and you know, it's enjoyable in its own way. It's just not really the type of game I enjoy playing all that much. But I see myself playing this quite a bit if I'm bored and I just want to have like a nice charming little adventure.
All right. Yeah.
You know, the game is charming and your rating for it is charming.
A lot of charm in mine today, isn't it? Can't wait to fuck it up next podcast with a shit game.
I just think it's funny they punished you for losing your boat by making you swim for 2 minutes. I
That's
think it's
incredible.
hilarious.
No, that's great. That
It was
I like
yeah.
that.
I was so annoyed when it first happened, but like seeing it now, I'm just like, you know what? That makes a lot of sense, and it's actually quite amusing.
listen.
It was
Now
amusing
you've
at the
learned your
time.
actions have consequences.
Your actions
Yeah,
have guns.
But yeah, next I'm guessing saving the best for last. I hope
That's what I hear.
best for last, right, Daniel?
Saving probably the best game for last, but the commentary on it isn't gonna be much.
Okay,
I know.
Asura.
Asura.
Let's see.
Azura.
Is this working?
Tuki.
Yeah, I see it. Asura 2.
Zero 2.
Ashura, I think, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Asura, Buster.
I think it's Asura. Yeah.
One of those two. Basically,
Destroy.
this is my game. Mortality.
Like straight away, I like how it
Blue
looks.
hair.
I mean, yeah, it looks really nice. It's got an interesting opening. So,
Asura Buster.
this is an old arcade game, fighting game. Essentially.
Nice.
I think it's a second game in the series. So being an arcade game, it doesn't have particularly a lot of different content. It's either you play arcade mode going through fighting the AI over and over again, or you play against a person. Those are your two options. Nothing too interesting there. But I will say, for the time, it's got some pretty interesting mechanics, things I don't necessarily see often in fighting games. With its main two big mechanics you'll see would be once you have full meter, you can perform like an upgrade on yourself. So basically, every character has a different upgrade that they do by pressing 3 buttons. So my character I'm playing here on the left, whose name is Goat, and he has a giant sword. Once he upgrades, all of his moves get a bit stronger, and he gets armor on them. Apparently is good, but also not that good because I've heard that it just resets damage scaling, so people can just do fuck tons of damage to you once you upgrade, which isn't great, but...
Wait, I don't understand. What is damage scaling?
Damage scaling. So in fighting games, as you're doing a combo, the more hits you do, the less each individual hit will do, and that's damage scaling. So
Okay.
resetting damage scaling just means that in the midst of a combo, it can just go back to doing full damage for every hit.
Cool.
I understand. Okay.
Yeah.
Despite all of my time with
Yeah, with your
I don't
amazing
know
fighting
enough.
game, yeah.
I don't know much about fighting games.
Don't worry, this is like low tier garbage. It's not a real fighting game like that, so I have to explain some stuff, you know.
Sure.
But the other really interesting mechanic that I liked a lot is at any point after you lose a round, once in every match, you can press 3 buttons and it'll enter like a final stand mode where you get 10 seconds to finish off your opponent's health if they don't hit you once.
Ooh, I like that. That's actually quite interesting.
So essentially, it gives like a bit of a comeback mechanic if you're getting your ass beat. If it comes out to be pretty close, you can click 3 buttons and try and go for a few good hits in 10 seconds to take the round anyways. Which was actually really fun.
Yeah, it sounds actually really fun. Like
The couple of
Kinda
times
like-
I played it against actual people, it made for some really tense moments where I'm like, oh god, am I gonna lose this round just cause I got a stray hit during last stand? Or things along those lines. But other than that, the only things to say on this game are that the character designs are all really unique. Like there's a variety of characters. You'll be able to find someone you want to play just in general. There's like a giant ancient looking robot guy. There's my big sword guy.
Nice.
There's like a fancy blonde haired man who fucking kicks lightning, that kind of shit.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And there's like a little girl, a little young girl who commands a skeleton. You know, just your typical
Nice.
stuff. I will say, however, that some parts of arcade mode felt kind of bullshit. Well, exactly one fight in arcade mode felt kind of bullshit because you come up against this boss character who just has some really big fucking moves and just a ton of armor, so you can't actually hit him a lot of the time. And I just kept dying to that guy. Apparently, you can play that guy in like 1v1 against actual people, but like he's got a 1-button infinite, so
Oh,
not really like respectable to do that, you know? A really easy 1-button infinite. Here you see me getting my ass beat by this woman who's like the zoner of the game, so she's got a lot of big moves to keep you away.
Ooh, I like her attack.
he's got the whole Alucard sword thing going
Yeah.
on.
She
I'm a big
does.
fan of swords and stands and shit, and she seems to have both.
Yeah, she does kind of have a sword stand, huh? But yeah, other
Yeah,
than that,
she's-
I like the moves. The moves look really good in this.
other than that, interesting mechanics in the game are every special move has like a super version, which is kind of standard for fighting games, but Some of them do some interesting stuff, like when I do the super version of my dash forward attack with Goateer, he gets super armor so he can go through people's attacks with it. So it just adds complexity in that way. But other than that, it's not a super complex game. It's got overheads for every character, it's got guard breaks for every character, and it's got a launcher for every character, which will hit the opponent into the air to make for an easy combo. But
It
really,
just seems like a really interesting,
Yeah.
neat fighting game.
it's just
Yeah,
a solid
seems
fighting
really
game.
solid.
It doesn't have much more to talk about other than that. It's just a solid fighting game with a small community.
Hey, is there any like real
Pretty nice.
flaws you could talk about in the game or anything? Or
I mean, it's an old fighting game, so character
Oh, God.
balance. Oh, this is the
Oh,
fucking.
no.
This is the
I think I
piece
found
of
the
fucking
flaw.
shit.
what is that thing?
This is
Oh,
a boss
slug.
character who massacred me for like 20 minutes or something.
It's not taking any damage. I'm guessing you have to like attack it when it's green.
Yeah,
Yeah, when the green thing
it
comes
is
out.
very good at blocking, I assume on purpose, so that you put more coins into the machine.
Yeah.
I will say this game is on Fightcade, so you can play it multiplayer pretty easily. And there is
Nice.
like a small Discord community of people who are pretty dedicated to it, with a lot of like resources for the game, like combos and such in that Discord, which I can put in the
Nice.
description.
Very nice.
But
Very
even
cool.
though it's an old ass game, it's still pretty easy to find a match just about any day
Nice.
if you want one.
Can we do the tournament in this instead?
We're doing
Yeah, I
both.
think that'd be
We're
better.
doing
We're
both.
doing both.
Don't worry, we're
Uh,
doing both.
I was gonna say, if this is a small community of people, you might be able to find a match, but they'll kick your ass. Like,
Yeah.
I'd
I
say,
don't know.
yeah. People did kick my ass. Yeah, absolutely
Yeah.
decimated my ass. Let me see. Let me
Wanted
see.
to disagree.
when a fighting
could
game
not.
community is so small that it's just boiled down to the people who are really interested in it, no, they'll fucking obliterate you.
Let me see if I've got a video of that really quick.
Bring it up. Bring up the multiplayer content.
Ah, here we go. Lord Arrogant versus Garfield Cart 123. Let's show you some multiplayer content. Yeah, he's playing Zinsuke. I'm playing Goat as usual. Let's get into some online content here.
Oh boy.
This man Zinsuke, the guy playing him, I believe, is one of the more regular players, where I just joined like a couple weeks ago. As you can see,
Yeah. Oh my god.
Oh dear. Oh no.
Yes.
Oh no.
Yeah.
no.
Fighting game players.
this is better
Once
for
they found
showing
that
off the
game.
combos than I was for sure, because I'm not good at this game yet. I will say that the
always
combos that
love
I
a-
have. What is what?
I was just gonna say I always love a yet at the end of that kind of sentence.
Yet. That's right. Oh god. This is me getting destroyed, yes.
Oh my god.
Destroyed less. I get destroyed more in the further matches than I do early on. I assume because he learns how I'm playing.
Oh god, he's actually good at the fighting games. Terrifying.
Ah shit, this is the last stand I was talking about.
Yeah.
As you can see, I'm basically fucking dead. And he gets
Oh.
me with one hit.
Yeah.
So he takes the round.
That's
yeah.
really cool.
I
Nice.
It is very cool.
I wish more fighting games would do something like that because it seems really cool.
I don't think it fits in every fighting game, but I think it's cool to have it here as
I
just
mean,
an
yeah.
extra bit of.
It seems like one of the things that's really cool right up until you have a really hard fought match that you win, and then the victory gets stolen from you right at the end.
Absolutely. But the thing is, everyone can do it once, so it does still feel fair even in those circumstances, because you get one of them too.
So after he uses his one on you and then wins, can you use yours and then do it right back?
I've never actually considered that, I'm gonna be
Oh.
honest. I don't think so, though.
Oh, damn. Alright.
Because I don't know how that would work, because it's supposed to be like once you start the last stand, they have as much health as they had left over. But in that circumstance, neither of you would have any health.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a really, really solid, old arcade fighting game. I don't know what else to say on that. It's got a small,
neat.
dedicated community.
Yeah, it's cool.
You can find matches for it.
Good on you,
Here you
small
see
fighting
me
game
going for a
community.
last stand, and you can see the difference in
Cool.
skill.
There goes your 10 seconds, bloody hell.
Dude knows what he's doing.
just sat back and shot fireballs at me. But yeah, that's about all I can really say on the game, if I'm being honest. There's not a lot, but what's there is great.
All right.
Good
Pretty
job,
cool.
Lord
So-
Arrogant. You made it onto the podcast.
So Daniel,
Good job, Lord Arrogant.
how many last stand fighting boss slugs out of 5 do you give this game?
I'd give it a 4.
Nice.
Nice.
It's a really fun game to
Brilliant.
play. It's just, but it doesn't have much special going for it, other than its last stand.
It's not like it has any margoyles.
Yeah, it doesn't have any marbles. It's not cool like that. It does have a fucking weird zombie guy, though. Like
No
zombie
marbles, no
dog thing.
whales.
Look,
Brilliant.
I wouldn't be so quick to say there weren't whales. I didn't think there was a giant fighting slug boss up until 3 minutes in. So maybe if you give it enough time.
I have beaten the arcade mode, and there is in fact no whales. I'll have you know.
That's a shame.
Yeah, bad game.
That
0 out
is-
of 10. So, that was everyone, wasn't it? That's everyone.
It was.
Love it,
It was.
yeah.
We've done the podcast. We've
We did
reviewed
it.
some fairly
Thank
interesting
you
games,
for
some
coming
very
to the
weird games.
Abandonshare podcast.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell button. Don't do that.
All right.
Find a way to give us money so we'll do this professionally. We don't have a Patreon or anything. Just mail me a check.
Find
give-
Sleeper's house and stick a
Don't
tenner
give
for
him
his
the money.
bell
Give
button.
me the money. I edit this shit. Fuck you. I am this podcast. I am Abandonshare.